Welcome, future scientists, to an exciting journey into the world of alkanes. Today, in our Class 11 Chemistry session for G Advanced, we'll dive deep into alkanes preparation. We'll explore how these fundamental organic molecules, the backbone of many fuels and chemicals, are made. Our session will take you through 4 levels of understanding: easy, medium, hard, and finally, hardest, preparing you thoroughly for competitive exams. Let's begin. Ready to uncover the basic recipes for making alkanes? Let's start with some straightforward methods that lay the foundation for understanding hydrocarbon synthesis. Our first fundamental method is hydrogenation. Imagine taking an unsaturated hydrocarbon, like an alkene or alkyne, and simply adding hydrogen gas to it. With catalysts like nickel, platinum, or palladium and a bit of heat, those double or triple bonds convert into single bonds, forming a saturated alkane. For example, ethene readily transforms into ethane. This process is a direct way to saturate carbon chains. Next, let's look at the Wurtz reaction. This is a fascinating way to build larger alkanes by joining two alkyl halide molecules. You take an alkyl halide, react it with sodium metal in dry ether, and voila, two alkyl groups couple up to form a new, larger alkane, typically with an even number of carbon atoms. And then, we have decarboxylation. This method involves removing a carboxyl group from a carboxylic acid salt using soda lime and heat. The resulting alkane will have one less carbon atom than the original acid, offering a way to shorten a carbon chain. Time to test your understanding. Pause the video and try these 3 practice questions. Can you recall the catalyst for ethene hydrogenation? How would you write the Wurtz reaction for ethyl bromide? And what alkane forms from sodium propanoate's decarboxylation? Think carefully, and then we'll move on. Now, let's deepen our knowledge. We'll explore the mechanisms behind these reactions and introduce more sophisticated methods for alkane preparation. Catalytic hydrogenation, as we learned, is the addition of hydrogen. But let's look closer. This reaction typically involves finely divided metal catalysts like nickel, platinum, or palladium. While nickel needs higher temperatures, PT and PD can work wonders at room temperature. A key aspect is its session addition nature, meaning both hydrogen atoms add to the same face of the double bond, which can have stereochemical implications. It's a highly efficient and clean method for saturating carbon-carbon multiple bonds. The Wurtz reaction, where alkyl halides couple using sodium in dry ether, is excellent for symmetrical alkanes. However, it has a significant limitation. If you try to make an unsymmetrical alkane by mixing two different alkyl halides, you end up with a messy mixture of 3 products, which are hard to separate. Also, sometimes, instead of coupling, an elimination reaction can occur, especially with bulkier alkyl halides, leading to unwanted alkene formation. Decarboxylation, the removal of carbon dioxide from a carboxylic acid salt, is facilitated by soda lime, a mixture of NaOH and CaO. CaO helps prevent the etching of glass by molten NaOH and makes the NaOH porous for better reaction. Then there's Kolbe's electrolytic method. Here, an aqueous solution of a carboxylic acid salt is electrolyzed. At the anode, carboxylate ions lose electrons, decarboxylate, and the resulting alkyl radicals combine to form a symmetrical alkane. This method also often produces side products like alkenes or alcohols, influencing its overall yield. Alright, it's time for some medium-level challenges. Can you explain the Wurtz reaction's limitation for propane synthesis? What products arise from Kolbe's electrolysis of sodium acetate? How does CaO assist in decarboxylation? Identify the catalyst for 1-butene to N-butane. And if methane is formed from decarboxylation, what was the original acid? Give these a shot. Now, let's step up our game. We'll analyze and compare these methods, delve into advanced techniques, and connect them with underlying chemical theories. Each alkane preparation method has its unique strengths and weaknesses, influencing its synthetic utility. Hydrogenation is very efficient and stereospecific, maintaining the carbon chain length. Wurtz reaction is great for symmetrical alkanes but fails for unsymmetrical ones due to product mixtures. Decarboxylthione is simple for shortening a chain by one carbon. Coal-based electrolysis yields symmetrical alkanes but can have side products. However, for precise synthesis, especially of unsymmetrical alkanes, the Corey-House synthesis emerges as a powerful and versatile alternative. The Corey-House synthesis, utilizing lithium dialkyl cuprates or Gilman reagents, is a gem for making unsymmetrical alkanes. It involves preparing the Gilman reagent from an alkylithium and copper iodide, then reacting it with a primary alkyl halide. This method offers high yields and avoids the mixed product issues of the Wurtz reaction. It's a powerful tool for constructing complex molecular architectures with precision, though it's less effective with secondary or tertiary alkyl halides which prefer elimination. Let's dive deeper into decarboxylthione. Mechanistically, it often involves a carbanion intermediate formed after the loss of carbon dioxide, which then abstracts a proton. The stability of this carbanion significantly influences the reaction's ease. Beyond that, alkyl halides can be directly reduced to alkanes using reagents like zinc and acid, or the potent combination of red phosphorus and high. Furthermore, carbonyl compounds like aldehydes and ketones can be converted to alkanes through methods like Clemmensen reduction, which uses zinc amalgam and HCl, or Wolff-Kishner reduction, which employs hydrazine and a strong base, catering to acid or base-sensitive molecules respectively. Ready for some hard-hitting questions? Why is Corey-House better for 2-methylbutane than Wurtz? Predict the product from lithium diethyl cuprate and 1-bromopropane. What's red PS role in high reduction? Differentiate Clemmensen and Wolff-Kishner. Identify compound A if it forms 2,3-dimethylbutane via Wurtz. Propose a Corey-House synthesis for N-pentane. Finally, what are common side products in coal-based electrolysis? Challenge yourself. Welcome to the ultimate challenge. In this hardest level, we'll dissect reaction mechanisms, explore advanced reagents, touch upon industrial applications, and even dabble in retrosynthetic analysis. Prepare to think like a synthetic chemist. Let's unravel the intricate mechanisms. The Wurtz reaction, often depicted as radical, can also involve organosodium intermediates. Coal-based electrolysis proceeds via anodic oxidation, forming acyloxy radicals that decarboxylate to alkyl radicals, which then dimerize. Understanding these radical pathways helps explain side products like disproportionation. The Corey-House synthesis, on the other hand, operates through an SN2-like mechanism, where the Gilman reagent acts as a soft nucleophile, selectively attacking primary alkyl halides and minimizing elimination, a testament to its precision in organic synthesis. Grignard reagents, formed from alkyl halides and magnesium in dry ether, are incredibly versatile. While primarily known for forming new carbon-carbon bonds, they are also strong bases. This basicity allows them to react with any source of active hydrogen, like water, alcohols, or even ammonia, to produce alkanes. This property is particularly useful for converting an alkyl halide into an alkane with the exact same number of carbons, or for preparing isotopically labeled alkanes, such as deuterated alkanes using heavy water, DO. This highlights their dual nature as both nucleophiles and strong bases. Stereochemical considerations are crucial, especially in hydrogenation. For instance, the catalytic hydrogenation of alkenes is typically a SYN addition. This means both hydrogen atoms add to the same face of the double bond. For CIS to butene, this results in mesobutane, an achiral compound. However, for trans to butene, it can yield a racemic mixture of RR and SS butane, depending on the catalyst and conditions. On the industrial front, most alkanes come from petroleum refining or natural gas. The Fischer-Tropsch process is a cornerstone for synthesizing liquid hydrocarbons, including alkanes, from syngas, a mixture of carbon monoxide and hydrogen. This process is strategically important for countries aiming to convert coal or biomass into valuable fuels. Finally, let's talk about retrosynthesis, working backward from the target molecule to simpler starting materials. For an alkane, you'd consider various disconnections and the reactions that could form them. For example, N-butane could come from 1-bromobutane via Grignard or from butene via hydrogenation. Choosing the right method involves troubleshooting. For unsymmetrical alkanes, avoid Wurtz and prefer Cory-House. In coal-based electrolysis, managing current density and concentration helps minimize unwanted side products like alkenes or esters. And generally, using primary alkyl halides is key to preventing elimination side reactions in coupling processes. Mastering these strategies is vital for efficient and selective synthesis. Here are your first 5 challenging questions for the hardest level. Outline the complete mechanism for coal-based electrolysis of sodium acetate. Propose a multi-step synthesis for N-hexane starting from propene. Explain the stereochemical outcome of hydrogenating CIS and trans to butene. How can methane be prepared from methanol using a Grignard reagent? And discuss the expected products and side reactions when synthesizing 2,3-dimethylbutane via Wurtz reaction with 2-bromopropane. Take your time, these require deep thought. And here are the final 5 questions to truly test your mastery. Describe the industrial significance of the Fischer-Tropsch process. Propose a retrosynthetic analysis for 2-methylpropane and suggest 2 routes. Why is Cory-House superior to Wurtz for unsymmetrical alkanes, and detail its mechanism? Discuss the limitations of decarboxylation for higher alkanes and the role of Carbanion stability. Lastly, identify an unknown alkyl halide that forms 2,2-dimethylpropane via Grignard and DO. Good luck, and push your limits. And that brings us to the end of our comprehensive session on the preparation of alkanes, from the basics to advanced concepts. We hope this journey has illuminated the fascinating world of organic synthesis for you. To continue your learning, explore more topics and practice questions at synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting educational content. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing your boundaries in chemistry.